Hill to Wolverhampton. This is an Enviro 400 H ex West Bromwich allocation 4932, and I hope you enjoy the journey. We're now leaving Merry Hill. Ahead of us is a not in service E400 MMC Platinum branded for the X10 service. We are passing the Odeon Cinema on the right, and on the left the Boulevard Retail Park, and then at the top Link 51 and the KFC stores, and coming into view is the Brolly Hill Flats. We're now going up the Boulevard and Mill Street. We're now going to turn right onto Mill Street. This is Mill Street, which starts at the Corn Exchange and runs right into the town of Brolly Hill. We're now passing to our left the canal and Brolly Hill Primary School. We're now at the junction for Venture Way. To our left was the car park of the former Concord Market. But more people tend to use the main market in the town. This is Mill Street 5 ways. Now, the 15 is on the Womben Road Zap and is combined with the 16 to Stourbridge and the 17 from Stourbridge to Dudley, except on Sundays and nights, Diamond run the 17 service. We pass a Dennis Trident on the number 2 from Dudley towards Merry Hill. In front of us is the Mall Centre, the smallest shopping centre in Brolly Hill. We're now going to be heading onto the number 6 corridor from Stourbridge. The 15 used to be numbered 255 and the 16 was the 256, while the 17 was the 257. Hanson's used to run the 257, and I'm going to be filming the 17 very soon. There is an additional service on Sunday called 15A, formerly 255A, and is a more direct service to Wolverhampton. We're now passing the Brolly Hill Market and also the Brolly Hill Library. To our right hand side is Pearson Street. Years ago, football grounds were at the top of Pearson Street, but these days it's now occupied by an Asda Superstore. It's now occupied by a car park of the Asda Superstore. This is a point of view on the double decker. The main allocations to the 15 are Dennis Tridents, and there have been since it was the 255. Originally they were Mercedes buses, but these days it's E400s and sometimes the E400 MMC Platinums with the USB ports. now coming to the crossover junction with the straight ahead from going into Round Oak, but we turn left into Bank Street and we're passing the Brolly Hill Police Station and the Brolly Hill Civic Hall. Now, from the 26th of January, this route will be running up to every 20 minutes. And also note, Hinksford will no longer be served on this route and will be served by the 16 from Stourbridge. Instead, this route's going to serve Himley, but still provide a service in Womben. And also, note the Penrose will no longer be served. Instead, it will be serving Spring Hill, which is currently served by the 4th Spring Hill through Wolverhampton to the I-54 Business Park. We're now passing David Lloyd Close. We're now approaching Brockmore. We can see Brockmore Community Centre up ahead. Brockmore used to be the terminus of the 296 on Stourbridge. It started up as Travel West Midlands, and then it changed to Hanson's and then Diamond until 2018 when the route was lost. We passed the Crimson Dennis Trident on the number 2 from Dudley to Merry Hill, and we passed the Wallows Road, which is now served by the 2A, previously the Hanson's 228 before it was rerouted to Russell Sewell Hospital. We now fly down to the Dell Stadium. We're now going up to Upper Pensnett. We're now following the route 2 and 2A, but as far as Blewett Street. But as far as the common side where it goes down to Blewett Street. You can see the section going down Blewett Street in the number 2 video. This is Blewett Street, where the 2 and 2A part company from us. You can see that in our number 2 video. We pass a not in service B7 Volvo heading out of Pensnett Depot onto Merry Hill. We're now coming on to Tiled House Lane, where we will be following the 226 all the way through Crestwood, and we pass an E400 on a Merry Hill service. The 226 was originally operated by Travel West Midlands. It was then taken over by Hanson's local buses, and also Diamond did the Sunday service. Also, before Igo had the service, and then in 2017 the route was taken altogether by Diamond. The route is operated from Tividale Depot. The 226 heading this way is facing, we are currently on the 226 bound line towards Merry Hill. The opposite direction for that, so the 15 towards Wolverhampton takes the 226's Merry Hill bound line, but the 226 heading towards Dudley is taking the 15 Merry Hill bound line. We're now passing Pensnet School. Well, the place is now demolished. It is now known as Pens Meadow. We're on a timing point, so we will finish this section, and also note this video will be merged into one. The building to our right is the sports hall of Pens Meadow, which is also known as Pensnet Educational Campus. This is Bromley. We're now going through Bromley and we'll be heading through Crestwood. We've just passed Mullet. We're passing Colliers Road and Mullet Street. We're now going to cross the abandoned railway line that ran from Stourbridge Junction to Dudley, which used to serve Brierley Hill, Round Oak and also Blowers Green. It terminated in the town of Dudley, but most of the Dudley line will be used for the future of the Midland Metro that's going to run from Birmingham to Merry Hill. At the minute, it is under construction, running to Wolverhampton Railway Station. We're now on Bromley Lane. We've been following the 226 from Tardhouse Lane, but as far as the top end, where it continues to dive down to the bottom of the former Wordsley Hospital. Wordsley Hospital will be mentioned in our number 16 video. We are now on part with Randall Close, and we're now passing Crestwood School. This is also part with the Briar. This small section to our left was previously served by the 657, which used to be now operated by Midland Red and Hanson's. The route is now numbered the 17A and runs from Stourbridge to Wall Heath, operated by National Express. It interworks onto the number 5 to Dudley, but from the 26th of January, the 17A will be located at the bottom of the hill. The route that's going to run across the top of this hill will be served by the service by a new number, the 57, but without the 6 on. as you know, we've now parted company with the 226, but we will be seeing the rest of it when we get to King Swinford. We're now coming to the bottom of the hill, where we'll be rejoining the 226 and combining with the 17 and the 16 from Stourbridge. This is Stream Road. So right then, this is the section where we'll film the 16 to Stourbridge on return from Wolverhampton. Now on the main Bromley Lane, where we combined with the 17 and the 16 and the 226 once again, but we'll part company for a short while as we do a detour to King Swinford. The 17 and the 16 runs fast and direct into King Swinford from this corridor. The same goes with the 226. We are passing the Portway pub and we go up the Portway. The Womban Rota used to run a designated 580 and ran from Wolverhampton to Bewdley in Worcestershire via the village of Kinver in Staffordshire, through the hamlet of Wolverley, and then down Sign Hill to the town of Kidderminster in Worcestershire. The route, but however, when first Worcestershire took over, the route was then shortened and only ran between Kinver and Kidderminster, and there was a designated service to Enfield. But however, the service is now served by the Kinver Community Transport between Kinver and Enfield. The 580 was then taken over by Midland Choice from Wensfield Depot, which was part of D&G before Arriva Midlands took over. It was then later taken over by Whittles and Starport, and then taken over by Diamond, and ran two services a day, and then was taken over by and now it's been taken over by Coniston, running Tuesdays, Thursdays and Fridays. We're now passing a Dennis Trident on a 15 towards Merry Hill. We're now going to be joining up with the number 5 from Dudley. The 5 was formerly numbered the 205 and ran from Dudley to King Swinford only, and will be reinstated to run Dudley to King Swinford only. There is an additional 5A service that runs to Heath, but only runs twice a day. We are currently on Standhills Road, and we're now joined up with the number 5. Diamond buses used to run the service on Sundays until the end of October this year, when the route was withdrawn. Diamond also used to run the 255 on Sundays and nights, but however they were withdrawn due to lack of funds. We're now passing Kingsmanford Community Centre. We're now approaching Kingsmanford, which is the main town, and to and to our right, the school of Kingsmanford. We're now passing the cooperative food store, which has a cooperative travel within. We're now at the site of the former cross, which later became the Arizona crossing, and we're now by the Kingsmanford shopping centre. On the corner here is the former Bradford and Bingley store, which merged with Santander, which bought Abbey National. We're now travelling down the A491 towards Wolverhampton, which is 7 miles away, and we're now passing Musgrove Surgery, which is one of the health centres. There are 2 practices here in Kingsmanford and Kingford. We're now coming towards the bottom of Stallings Lane, where the 17 heads towards Gornal Wood, Stickley Estate and Dudley, and also goes up by the Milking Bank. However, the 17 first does a loop around Wall Heath, then turns round at the top, heads back towards the junction, and then heads up Stallings Lane. Stallings Lane is also near to where Pensneck Depot is located, operated by West Midland National Express. It is now 1¼ mile towards Wall Heath, as we will be travelling on the B4175. The A491 continues to Wolverhampton, followed by the A449. The opposite direction heads back to Kingsmanford, Wordsley, and then on to Stourbridge. Going up is towards Gornal Wood, which is 2¼ mile, 4 miles to Sedgley on the B4175, and then a continuation to Dudley. We're now approaching Wall Heath, the terminus for. There is an additional 15E service that's a part journey and only between Merry Hill and Wall Heath. The terminus is at Blaze Park, and that was also the terminus at the front of the Sunday 5 service, but that part is only served by this route and also the 5A. Ahead of us we can see an Enviro 400 on a Dudley to Stourbridge 17 service, formerly numbered the 257. The 17 is not to be confused with the Diamond 17 that runs from Halesoe to Merry Hill via Timbertree. This one is not to be confused with the Coniston Coaches 15, which runs from Kidderminster to Stourport, but that on Sunday confuses as the 15A. 15C is a unique number. we're now headed towards Blaze Park, and we're passing another community centre. This one is called Wall Heath, and we're also passing Wall Heath Evangelical Free Church. This is Blaze Park, where we can see an Enviro 400, this time an X, this time it's another